Okay, so I wanted to do a real quick video on this Samsung DLP TV. This is an HLR model. This happens to be a 4266, but that's really not important. All the HLRs are pretty similar. This one had a bad color wheel. As you can see, the color wheel is broken up into many pieces. Just be warned on these sets, there are two different types of color wheels, and they do vary in part numbers. They're not interchangeable, and it depends on what light engine the set has in it, whether it's a Zeiss or a Samsung light engine. If you have a lamp, last four digits are 1073, then your HLR set will take a 1103 color wheel. If you have an 826 lamp, then it will take a 674 color wheel. And sometimes you may have had your set serviced by a big name store who put the wrong light engine in it and just did some adjustments to correct the picture. Light engines can be interchanged, so you can put a Zeiss into a Samsung application and a Samsung application into a Zeiss unit, and you can interchange that. But what I want to show you real quick is how to get some adjustments after you've changed your color wheel. If the color's not quite right, what to do. So first thing is you will need to have a Samsung remote control. You can start with the set off, or you can turn the set off with the remote control. On these HLR series, you need to let it stay off once the light actually goes off, which is about 10 seconds after you've pressed the power button. The lamp will go out. It needs to cool for a few seconds. I usually let the lamps cool for anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds. And the reason for that is when you enter the service mode on these Samsung DLPs, it actually turns the lamp off and then tries to relight it immediately. So if you have a hot lamp, it won't relight. Now, to enter the service mode with the TV off, the buttons you're going to need are mute, and then the keypad 1, 8, 2, and then the power button. So I'm going to do that right now, pointing it at the remote sensor on the TV. I'm going to hit mute, 1, 8, 2, power. You can hear it click off and click back on because it was still in the cooling cycle. It'll light the lamp. It goes through its initialization. If the melody is enabled, you'll hear the melody. I think I have it disabled on this one. It should come up and say factory is loading, or you just get the option screen on the left-hand side, which you can see right there. To adjust the color wheel, you want to go into the very top one, which is labeled DDP 1011. And on this one, it happens to say L6, so I know this is an L6 chassis. That's a Samsung-made chassis. If it says L3, it's a Zeiss chassis. So that's one way you can tell what color wheel yours takes. So L6 will take an 1103 color wheel, and an L3 will take a 674 color wheel. So you can scroll up and down with the up, down, right, left arrows here, and it moves the cursor to the different locations, as you can see. Just go into the first one, DDP 1010, and arrow to the right to get into it, and then you'll see vertical position, horizontal position, lamp sync, and index delay. The one you want is index delay. Highlight that, arrow to the right once again, and you'll see this color bars pop up on the screen. They're gradual color bars, which means on the left side is dark, the right side is light. And if you look really closely on this one, you can see that right in here there's a difference in colors between the red and orange right there, and that's what we don't want. Currently the delay is set to 57, so I'm going to very slowly adjust it back down. It's probably hard to see on the video, but I'm going to keep watching that, and it looks like it goes to solid red at about, I'd say, 47 or 48. And so I'm going to go the other way now, just holding the button down, and I'm going to look for pink, and it seems, for me, it's easiest to look on the red bar. And so I'm going to scroll up now until that pink just disappears. And it looks like it disappears at about 33 or 34. And so I want to try to find the center point between those two. And so the difference between 34 and 48 is 14. So I want to move it 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I want to set the delay at 41 because that's the center point between those two adjustments. There's a couple of other really quick adjustments I can show you. If you do happen to have the wrong engine in your set, there are a couple ways to get around this. You can go to Engine Select, and if you change it from Samsung over to, let's see if I can get it to change to Zeiss, you'll see the picture is upside down. So that's one way you know you've got the wrong engine. You can also do vertical flip and horizontal flip, which will let you turn it backwards. And if you go to vertical flip, it lets you just turn it completely upside down. And keep those in normal. You can go down here to test patterns. It shows you some test patterns. The first one is white. You can check your light tunnel to see if there's any shading on any part of the picture. Then you go to some colors. And then you get a gradual black to white and a very fine crosshatch pattern here that you adjust the focus with. The last one with the big squares can be used to adjust the vertical horizontal centering. In the 226 test patterns, you can see this one that has the crosshatch in the center is good for horizontal vertical centering, as well as it does have bars on the you can kind of see them on the upper left and upper right that you can use for vertical centering, as well as there's a bar on the very bottom that is good for vertical centering. I didn't show you that one. So it's picture 12 in the 226 test pattern, which is in the option mode. In the option mode, picture 12 in the 226 test pattern is the one to use for centering the picture. Go to where it says vertical position, and I'm just going to move it up 2 or 3 notches, exit out of vertical position, go back to test pattern, and then get into that pattern that had the big squares, and they look a little bit closer to being symmetrical now. The other adjustment I wanted to show you real quick is the index delay. I'm sorry, not index delay, I showed you that one. The actuator, SP actuator is what they call it here. It's currently set at 68, and it adjusts the actuator mirror that vibrates at 60 Hertz to double the number of pixels on the screen. And the best way to do it is to very closely get up and look at the 4 crosses in the center of the screen. So I've moved the camera right up close to the white cross, and the adjustment is currently at 68, so I'm just going to misadjust it. And you can see what happens to the lines. They get very jagged. So you can watch that cross while you adjust until you get the most straight line, which on this one it looks like it's at about 92 right now, so it was misadjusted just a little bit. So we've got the actuator adjusted. There are just a couple of other quick things to look at on these sets. You can go into the option mode, and one thing to look at is your lamp life right here, 12,929. This lamp's been replaced, so if you wanted to, you could go up to lamp clear and clear that lamp data. The other thing you can do where it says here digital to DMD is if you've changed your DMD board, you can reload the factory values back into it. However, this one gives you the option of changing the DMD to the digital board, which is what I'm going to do because I just adjusted the color wheel index as well as the actuator and the centering. So I'm going to click DMD to digital. Click it a second time, it's going to pop up and tell me OK. So now it's stored that information in the digital board. So if I were to change the DMD at a later date, I can just copy that data back out. Let me see, anything else you want to look at? Watchdog Count, WD count right here. That tells you if you've ever had any catastrophic digital board failures. If you've seen my other video about replacing the RAM chips, that will increment the Watchdog counter when the set shuts off. The only way to really clear the Watchdog counter is to go into either user reset or error reset, and that will clear the Watchdog counter, as well as on some models clear the lamp, depends on the software version of the TV. Let's see, some other test patterns here. You can go to the 226 test patterns, and you can look at just some different test patterns they have. See if there's anything else I need to show you about the adjustments on these TVs. I don't really think there is. The DDP option, Srevice is just It's a quick compilation of adjustments: vertical position, horizontal position, actuator, and index. They're all on the same page, as well as lamp clear, engine select, things like that. Changing your lamp wattage won't make the picture any brighter. It talks to the ballast. So you can change it to 132 or 120. It won't change anything. Picture's exactly the same. Lamp select, either Phillips or Osram. It just tells the operating system and the TV what ballast you have in it, whether you have a Phillips ballast or an Osram ballast. That's a different topic to get into at a later date. Sometime I will be doing a video about lamp replacements, how to tell if your lamp's bad, and choosing the correct lamp based on the ballast. They do need to be matched. So on this set, definitely choose a Phillips brand lamp instead of an Osram. That wraps this one up. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll learn some adjustments on the HLR series Samsung DLP TVs. Have a great day, and let's try to keep these sets out of the trash and out of the recycle bin.